Let us sing together this morning. Please rise in body or spirit and join me in hymn 347, Gather the Spirit. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, our trials in this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store, nurtured in love and conscience refined, with body and spirit united once more. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the Spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus of life resounding as one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
We begin this morning's service with a prayer of place as we center the native people of this area and acknowledge their ancestral lands. As we do so, may we also reflect upon the convergence of legacies that have brought each of us to this place in this time.
Hush. This is a holy place, a sacred place, where the visions dwell, where the dreaming began. Someone's God has stepped here, dwelt here, spoken here of life, of death, of holy things. As we come softly, walk softly, talk softly, be mindful of the dreams.
Hush. This is a holy place, a sacred place, where the visions dwell, where the dreaming begins. This is a place where trees and bushes, grasses and ferns, deer and chipmunks, cardinals and bluebirds have lived and died for generations, where the young have been born, cared for, and nurtured, where death has overtaken life, age after age.
Hush. This is a holy place, a sacred place, where the visions dwell, where dreaming begins. This red soil colonized as North Carolina, is the land where the gods of the Eno, Sapony, Sissipaha, Shikori, Cherokee, among so many others, as well as the African slave and the freed man, have lived.
Where our Unitarian and Universalist ancestors made promises of love and kindness and broke their promises in deeply disappointing ways, where dreams turned into nightmares, yet where hope still kindles.
Hush, this is a holy place, a sacred place, where visions dwell, where the dreaming begins. This is a holy ground made holy by our presence, our love, our struggle. Let us come softly, move softly. Let us make a great noise. Let us shout. Let each utterance remind us of the dreams that live and the hope that is this place.
We light our chalice this morning, the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. May it be a beacon that guides our path to love, truth, awareness, and relationship. May we be carriers of its light of radical welcome and warmth into wholeness, into liberation, into the one circle of life. Good morning. Welcome to the Sunday service of the Eno River Unitarian Universalist Fellowship here in Durham, North Carolina. My name is Reverend Daniel Trollinger, Executive Minister. And whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever your race or gender identity, whomever you love, and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. If you are new to this community and visiting for the first or second time, I invite you to rise and body your spirit so that we may give you a warm ERUUF welcome. Thank all of you for choosing to spend your Sunday morning with us. If you have children or youth with you, today they are welcome to stay with you in this intergenerational service. The Inquirers class for newcomers and visitors, which usually takes place in the care building between services, was rescheduled today. Fellowship hour with tabling and coffee will occur in the fellowship hall directly after service. Special music today is provided by the Chalice Singers and Sunshine Kids. Reverend Jocelyn was ill this week, and while she's feeling better and recovering, she's been advised to exercise an abundance of caution and stay home. So we hold her in our hearts, and I will be sharing the parts of the service that she would have offered. Our guest speaker this morning is Kara Stewart of the Sapony tribe of North Carolina. I'll share more about her later in the service, but please join me in welcoming her to ERUUF today. Now would be a good time to turn off any devices you might have on your person. And let us take a moment to center, be present, and open to the gifts of this day. Let us begin.
Good morning. I welcome down our smallest and mediumest and largest, and our children of any age, really, to come on down for a little bit of story, for a time for all of us, but you get to sit down here. I see some of you trickling out. Oh my gosh. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. make sure. I'm going to have to scoot over. Can you scoot just a hair that way? Because I'm going to have to scoot this way. Okay, good. It may be like, oh, I'm not on my normal stool today. I have a bench. Oh my gosh, I see people hiding over there. We'll let them keep hiding. It is good to see you this morning. It is good to see you this morning. And this morning, I think it's important to say that this is a story that is happening now. This is a story that would happen now. This is not a story of the past. Now, the story was written in the year 2000, which for those of us who are older is basically now in some ways. Now, when we get in the story, you will see a VCR and videotapes, but you can imagine that it's streaming, that somebody is streaming that on a device, because it could happen today, just streaming on a device. It is, just a different technology. 2000 was not that long ago, right? Can I get a confirmation of that from you? I know it's a long time for you all, though. It's a long time for you all. Like, how many of you even think about the year 2000? Yeah, not so much. But really, this is a story that would happen today. And the main character of the story is from the Muskogee Creek Nation. And she lives in a contemporary intertribal community and family in Oklahoma. So this is a story that is taking place with the traditions of the Muskogee Creek Nation, as opposed to traditions that, say, the Sapony would have in North Carolina. Oh, you brought a stuffy with you. And this story is called Jingle Dancer. Tink, 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 tink. Now, before we go on, when I say the word tink, I want you to know what that sounds like. Have you ever heard rain on like metal, like on a tin roof? Have you ever heard it? How many people have heard that? Many people, some of you have heard it. Some of you might not have. That, when I say tink, that's what I want you to imagine is that sound, okay? I can't make it with my mouth. Tink, 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 sang cone-shaped jingles sewn to Grandma Wolf's dress. Every grandma bounce step brought clattering tinks as light blurred silver against the jingles of tin. Jenna daydreamed at the kitchen table, tasting honey on fry bread, making me hungry. It made me hungry in first service. It's still making me hungry now. Her heart beating to the brum, 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 brum of the powwow drum. As moon kissed sun good night, Jenna shifted her head on Grandma Wolf's shoulder. See, they're sitting here on a couch. See your stuffy. I want to jingle dance too. Next powwow, you could dance girls, Grandma Wolf answered. But we don't have enough time to mail order tins for rolling jingles, those little things making the tink, tink sound on the dress. See, on the TV, pretend it's a streaming device. Again and again, Jenna watched a videotape of Grandma Wolf jingle dancing. When Grandma bounce-stepped on TV, Jenna bounce-stepped on family room carpet. But Jenna's dress would not be able to sing. It needed 4 rows of jingles. As sun fetched morning, that means it's morning time, Jenna danced east to Great Aunt Sis's porch. Jenna's bounce steps crunched autumn leaves, but her steps did not jingle because she didn't have the little things that make the jingling sound. Once again, Great Aunt Sis told Jenna a Muskogee Creek story about Bat. Although other animals had said he was too small to make a difference, Bat won a ball game by flying high and catching a ball in his teeth. Have you ever seen a bat catch a ball in their teeth? Wow, that would be amazing. Oh, well, that might be a science question for you later. You might have to look that one up. Rising sunlight reached through a window pane and flashed against, what was that? Hanging in Aunt Sis's bedroom. Do you see something hanging there? It is a dress. It is a dress. Jingles on a dress. There are jingles on the dress. And the dress was too long quiet. May I borrow enough jingles to make a row? Jenna asked, not wanting to take so many that Aunt Sis's dress would lose its voice. You may, Aunt Sis answered, rubbing her calves. My legs don't work so good anymore. Will you dance for me? I will, said Jenna, with a kiss on Aunt Sis's cheek. Now, Jenna's dress needed how many more rows now? I'm giving you a hint. 3 more, because she needed 4 to start out with. Now she's got a row. She needs 3 more. Look at this nice little kitchen. As Son arrived at mid-circle about lunchtime, Jenna skipped south to Mrs. Scott's brand new duplex. At Jenna's side, jingles clanked. Mrs. Scott led Jenna into the kitchen. Once again, Jenna rolled dough, and Mrs. Scott fried it. May I borrow enough jingles to make a row? Jenna asked, not wanting to take so many that Mrs. Scott's dress would lose its voice. You may, Mrs. Scott answered, tossing flour with her apron. At powwow, I'll be busy selling fry bread and Indian tacos. Will you dance for me? I will, said Jenna with a high five. Now Jenna's dress needed 2 more rows. As Son caught a glimpse of moon, Jenna strolled west to Cousin Elizabeth's apartment. At Jenna's side, jingles clanked. Elizabeth had arrived home late from the law firm. Once again, Jenna helped Elizabeth carry in her files. She looks like she's been in an office today, doesn't she? It's kind of some office clothes. May I borrow... Now, this is actually kind of important. I found out that back in 2000, this might be a note for the adults too, the author of this book had trouble publishing this book because they had an indigenous person as a lawyer. And the publishers were like, that can't be true. And it's like, no. Indigenous people, Native Americans, American Indians, they could be any role. So, she's a lawyer. It is important to note. May I borrow enough jingles to make a row? Jenna asked, not wanting to take so many that Elizabeth's dress would lose its voice. You may, Elizabeth answered, burrowing through her messy closet for her jingle dress. You can see it on the bed here. This weekend, I'm working on a big case, and I can't go to powwow. Will you dance for me? I will, said Jenna, clasping her cousin's hands. I see. Oh, you dropped something. Now, Jenna's dress needed 1 more row of jingles, but she did not know which way to turn. As moon glowed pale, Jenna shuffled north to Grandma Wolf's. At Jenna's side, Jingles sat silent. High above, clouds wavered like worried ghosts. When Jenna tugged open the door, Jingles sang, what's that sound they make? Tink, 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 tink. Grandma Wolf was jingle dancing on TV. Jenna breathed in every hey-ah-oh-ah of a powwow song. Her heart beat brum, 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 brum to the pounding of the drum. On family room carpet, beaded moccasins waited for Jenna's feet. She shucked off a sneaker and slipped on a moccasin that long before had danced with Grandma Wolf. Jenna knew where to find her 4th row. May I borrow enough jingles to make a row? Jenna asked, not wanting to take so many that Grandma's dress would lose its voice. You may, Grandma said with a hug. Now, Jenna's dress could sing. She's going to be dancing for a few people at this powwow. Every night that week, Jenna helped Grandma sew on jingles and bring together the dance regalia. Every night, Jenna practiced her bounce steps. See them sewing those jingles on? Brum, 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 brum sounded the drum at the powwow the next weekend. As light blurred silver, Jenna jingle danced. She jingle danced for Great Aunt Sis, whose legs ached. That was one person. For Mrs. Scott, who sold the fry bread. For Elizabeth, who worked on her big case. And for Grandma Wolf, who warmed like sun. Tink, 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 tink. And now that we've had a bit of a story of the now and of a specific person in a specific place from the Muskogee Creek tribe, we have a guest with us today whose name is Kara. And she's going to come and she's going to help lead you in something. And I'm going to scoot over a little bit so she has a place to sit.
Hi guys, I'm Kara. So I wanted to teach you something today about the Indian people in North Carolina, because there are Indian people in this book. Those are Indian people, but they're not Indian people from a tribe in our state in North Carolina. They're from pretty far away. So I wanted to show you the names of the tribes in your state in North Carolina where you live. So I'm going to say the name of the tribe, and I want you all to say it after I say it. You all can say it too. Okay, look up there at that map. There are lots of colors on that map. There's words that are in color, and then the lines that are in color, they point to a county. We all live in a county in North Carolina. They point to a county that has a tribe in it. So each of those colors, there is an Indian tribe now today of Indian people in that county. So I'm going to start with my tribe. I'm from an Indian tribe. I'm from the Sapony tribe. So on that map, all the way up at the top, there's a big capital letter S, Sapony, and it's kind of pinky purple all the way at the top. So everybody say Sapony.
Sapony.
Ooh, that was good. Say it again because that's my tribe. Sapony.
Sapony.
Yes, let's go east. In orange at the top, it says Halawa Sapony Indian tribe. I'm going to teach you guys the way we Indian people say it to each other. We don't say that whole big long name. We say Halawa. Everybody say Halawa.
Halawa.
Right, let's keep going east to the green. There's the Meherrin. Meherrin, yeah. Come down south to the light pink. That's the Coharie tribe. Coharie.
Coharie.
Oh, you guys are good. Keep going down. There's bright purple down there. That big long name, it says Waccamaw Siouan Indian tribe, but we don't say that to each other. You know what we call that tribe? We just call them Waccamaw.
Waccamaw.
Keep going all the way around the circle. We see in bright yellow the Lumbee. Everybody say Lumbee.
Lumbee.
Keep going up, and it's in red. That's the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians, and I'm just going to say this. We do actually say Eastern Band of Cherokee. You ready? Eastern Band of Cherokee. Keep going up, and there's blue, and it's Occaneechi. Occaneechi. Okay, ready? Here we go really quick. Sapony.
Sapony.
My tribe. Halawa.
Halawa.
Meherrin.
Meherrin.
Coharie.
Coharie.
Waccamaw.
Waccamaw.
Lumbee.
Lumbee.
Eastern Band of Cherokee.
Eastern Band of Cherokee.
Occaneechi.
Occaneechi.
And those are the tribes in North Carolina. Those are different tribes than the Indian people in this book. And I just wanted to teach you that.
So thank you much for that, Kara.
I live in North Carolina.
Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
There is no Eno tribe currently. That's a historic tribe. These are the current tribes in North Carolina, current living people, living tribes in North Carolina.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Kara. And thank you so much. And you get to stay with us for service today. So as you go back, don't go out the door. Go back to your parents or go back to sitting with the choir if you're going to sing with us. And we will see you in a little bit. And you'll hear Kara talk more later, too.
Let's sing together. Please rise in body or spirit and join me on hymn 51 in your gray hymnal, Lady of the Seasons, Laughter. Lady of the seasons, laughter, in the summer's worth be near, when the winter follows after. Teach our spirits not to fear. Hold us in your of tomorrow's dawning ray. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning day. Mother of the generations, in whose love all life is worth, everlasting celebrations bring our labors safe to birth. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning earth. Goddess of all time's progression, stand with us when we engage, hands and hearts to end oppression, writing history's fairer page. Hold us in your steady mercy, Lady of the turning age. Please take a moment and turn and greet your neighbors this beautiful day.
We're winding. As we move from that time of connecting to one another, I invite us into a time of meditation and the deep ask of prayer. Maybe give a deep breath and find space to be present. Spirit of life, source of love, on this day, as every day, we hold much in our hearts, in our spirits, in our bodies. We hold the true complexities of this world. As we bring more focus to Indigenous Peoples Day today, we hold that here on this land, there has been a history of colonization, painful and sorrowful. A history that has had an impact for generations of people into today. For those of us who may be more connected to the history of colonization, may we continue to consider and connect with ideas of what healing looks like for spaces and communities we are in connection with. For those of us connected to the lineage of Indigenous peoples who are both local and more distant, may you also have a chance to hold the joy and beauty that is part of your life and your experience. On this day, as every day, we hold the beauty and the struggle. And I'm deeply feeling prayer for that struggle. On the world level, we hold care and compassion for victims in the current conflict in Israel and Palestine. I pray for those who are in positions from which they can support the creation of peace, that they might find strength and momentum to do so. I pray for deep and deeper listening. And I pray especially for our Muslim and Jewish siblings who feel this strife most acutely. May we always work to cultivate welcome and home in this community, even as there are challenging times in the world. We hold space for all the challenges of this community too, In many places here, people are facing illness, facing hard life transitions, facing those personal realities that are placed before them, and throughout the world, many are facing tragedies, some personal and some more widespread, such as the earthquakes in Afghanistan. And may we also hold the joys and possibilities on this morning, the happy new life events, and indeed the happy maintenance of things long held in love, the moments of recovery, the moments of gratitude, and the moments of peace found in this week. For all this, and for the much, much more that has been left unsaid, may we give tenderness today. Amen, and blessed be.
Patty Krawek, an Anishinaabe and Ukrainian writer from Lac Seul First Nation and co-host of the podcast Medicine for the Resistance, tells this story in her book, Becoming Kin, an Indigenous call to unforgetting the past and reimagining our future. One day, Nanabuzu was walking along the shoreline. He was hungry, and he looked for a way to get food without working too hard. He saw some ducks. He liked roasted duck, so he came up with a plan. Nanabuzu called out to the ducks, "Come over here, I want to sing you a song." The ducks were cautious, but they were also curious, and they came over. Nanabuzu told them to keep their eyes closed while he sang. "Just listen to the song and the drum," he said, "but keep your eyes closed or the power will be lost." While the birds danced the shut-eye dance, Nanabuzu grabbed one duck and, wringing his neck, he threw it into the fire. Nanabuzu kept singing and drumming, and the ducks, with their eyes shut, kept dancing. Nanabuzu soon had 6 ducks roasting in the fires. Eventually, one of the ducks who was still dancing peeked. Maybe she was suspicious, or maybe it was just hard to keep her eyes closed that long. In any case, she saw what Nanabuzu was doing and called out a warning. The remaining ducks opened their eyes and flew away. Nanabuzu was angry and chased after them. When he got back to the fire, the ducks he was roasting had burnt, and he wound up with nothing.
This story is about a lot of different things, says Patty Krawak. It's about being lazy and trying to get something without working for it. But it's also about our own willingness to keep our eyes closed to what is happening around us, to enjoy things we have without paying attention to what they might be costing others. Notice marginalized people. Notice the land. Notice the agreements. Notice the names. Notice the absences. Notice the gaps. And now that we have noticed, now that we have opened our eyes from this shut-eye dance, we are rebuilding these relationships and thinking about what it means to be not only a relative, but a good relative to the land and each other. We are related, and all our creation stories make that point one way or the other. So the question has never been whether we are related, but how to live out these relationships with the land, with other than human relatives, and with each other.
After Nanabuzu was grown, he set out on a journey to travel the world and meet people, learning and listening and sometimes getting into trouble along the way. After he came back and told the Creator everything he had seen and learned, the Creator sent him out again, this time with a wolf as a companion. So Nanabuzu saw the world again, but this time he saw it in relationship with another, because that is how we are meant to live, in relationship.
We have begun to unravel the history we have been taught, unforgetting our relationships with this place and each other. We are challenging myths that we were told about ourselves and each other, and we are learning the language to transform and confront settler colonialism. But there's no magic bullet. There's no single book you can read, no one podcast to listen to, no perfect tutorati to follow, no percentage you can donate, and no amount of time you can spend outside in nature to put things right. We have to build relationships. From the writer Patty Krawak. In our Unitarian Universalist faith, we talk about being in right relationship with one another. This morning, our guest speaker, Kara Stewart, will briefly touch upon the pervasive view of Native people that we as Americans unconsciously tend to hold even today. Kara Stewart is Sapony, one of 8 North Carolina state-recognized tribes that you see on the map. She was a teacher in North Carolina public schools for 24 years in Person, Wake, Durham, and Orange counties. She serves on the North Carolina American Indian Heritage Commission and the Board of Directors of United Tribes of North Carolina. She is also on the tribal council of her tribe, the Sappony. She has 2 grown children, 3 grandchildren. Her daughter works for Blue Cross Blue Shield of North Carolina, and her son is a firefighter with the city of Durham. She also has a highly exuberant black Labrador retriever. Please join me again in welcoming Kara Stewart.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction and for the invitation to be here today. I am Kara Stewart, and I am, what's my tribe? Yes, yes, they were listening. So yes, I am Sapony. It is one of the, how many state recognized tribes in North Carolina? Y'all did not know there was going to be a quiz, but there is. So I guess my message to you today, Reverend Brett and I were talking, and she was asking me to kind of think about what is my main message. The message to you, I think, is that there are 8 state recognized tribes, and the importance that we all, myself included, because things always change, continually educate ourselves about the people in those tribes. I did just want to say a few things about some of those tribes that I now know you know the names of. The Sapony, my tribe there, this map was done by the North Carolina Commission of Indian Affairs, and if you go to their website, they have information linked on all, they link to all the state recognized tribes' official websites. They only have colored person county. We actually encompass 2 counties. We encompass the county to the north in what is now known as Virginia. In 1728, William Byrd and his survey party went out on this big, long, 8-month-long voyage to draw the dividing line between what is now known as North Carolina and what is now known as Virginia. And one of our people, Ned Bearskin, was along that trip to help them survive. So we actually cross up into Halifax County, Virginia, so if that map had Virginia on it, you would see 2 counties colored there. The Halawa in orange, it's named Halawa because they are in Halifax and Warren counties. Going around to the Lumbee in bright yellow, they do have limited federal recognition right now. That means they accepted federal recognition on a more limited scale without the funding that should come behind that. Eastern Band of Cherokee, they are federally recognized, and they are not to be confused with the Cherokee Nation, which is out in Oklahoma. And then there's 4 urban Indian organizations. They are marked in gray on the slides there. So these are places where, let's say you're Lakota and you move to Greensboro for your job. The Guilford Native American Association is a place that serves all Native people in that metro area, so you could go there to feel more comfortable with where you've moved to have more of your culture around you, although all Native tribes are very different. So Triangle Native American Society is in Raleigh, Guilford Native is in Greensboro. They do a fabulous powwow every year in September. Metrolina is in Charlotte, and Cumberland County is in Fayetteville. So those are the things I wanted to say about that. We are all around you. We are members of mainstream society, and we're also members of our own different tribes and cultures. I want to read you a poem this morning, and then after this service, I'll be in the Commons Room to give more information about the tribes in North Carolina today. I'll be giving little snippets of information on each of the 8 current state-recognized tribes, and I'm not talking about historic tribes here. These are current, thriving, living tribes who are very involved in their culture today. And they've been state recognized by North Carolina, and the state of North Carolina does have a fairly strict requirement and a lengthy process for becoming state recognized. There's a lot to prove, so that's why those are the 8 state recognized tribes there. So I'll be giving some information about each, and then showing you some pictures of Indian schools in North Carolina and talking about them a little bit, maybe some history, depending on what you all want to learn about or hear, and giving some accurate resources. There's great books and TV shows and all that kind of thing out now that I would love for everybody to know about. So the poem I want to read is by Roe Shabala. She's Diné Navajo from White Cone, Arizona. She's the author of the poetry chapbook, When Wind Chimes Speak. She performed this poem 8 years ago in 2015 to much acclaim, and you can actually search for it on YouTube and see her doing it live. It is awesome. My noticing is that all she says in this poem is accurate 8 years later, except the names of 2 teams have changed. The intro to the poem is from the website Everyday Feminism. The USA manifested its colonial and imperialistic destiny by stealing the lives and land of millions of indigenous people. And as a society, we have been taught to forget that. In this spoken word poem, Roe Shabala addresses the impact of how that destiny is still being perpetuated through systems of violence like cultural appropriation, pervasive poverty, the prison industrial complex, the sexual assault, and my addition and murder of Indigenous women, my addition and Two-Spirit people, and the use of Indigenous images and names as sports mascots. Shabala explores the painful irony of how the American public and media consumes a mass-produced and contrived stereotype of Indigenous identity for frivolity and sport, while disregarding the actual people striving to survive the continuing trauma that colonization and capitalism built. This poem demonstrates how we are all complicit in this oppression and demands that we hold ourselves accountable by making changes now. Love You Some Indians by Roe Shabala Dene. Everybody in Cleveland loves the Indians. Everybody loves them some Indians. Love you some Indians. Be the Indian and not the cowboy. Throw on a war bonnet. Tell me it's fashion. Tell me how imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Go to your local truck stop. Buy some dream catchers made from China. Hang them on your rear view mirrors of your Jeep Grand Cherokees, your Pontiacs, your Winnebagos. And as you drive down I-40, your vehicle will catch the dream's roadkill by Manifest Destiny, and this whole time your radio chimes, "This land is your land, this land is my land. Love you some Indians." Honor them by making them mascots. Turn them into cartoon characters. Costume yourselves in crimson paint. Use the blood off of Redskins smeared all over. Cover every inch. You are Indian. Big black eyes, big smile, white teeth. Don't forget the fake feathers. Cover your skin. Don't tell me it doesn't come with privilege. Cover it. Hide it like you're ashamed of pigment, like it separates you from the norm. Tan that hide. Work beneath the suns. Make it so scarlet it becomes purple in the shade. Add feathers. Add bows and arrows. You are Indian. Now dance. The stadium is your bonfire. You are Indian. Practice your tomahawk chalk. You are Indian. Welcome the braves that have a higher enlisted rate in our armed forces. Welcome the Kansas City Chiefs as they make their way to the field for the halftime spectacular. Welcome the Seminoles as the ghost of Osceola haunts the end fields. Washington Redskins, don't change your title. Instead, hashtag Redskins Pride. Make social media our battleground. We all know that Indians don't have Twitter accounts. We still use smoke signals. Applaud Chief Wahoo, bright white chompers as it casts your reflection on how to love you some Indians. Go paint them town, double coat over history, whitewash the red bricks of the reservation. Let's have Indian Days in our school. Use November to teach our students the turkey dance with colored construction paper headdresses and teepees. Now go home, wash off the paint, go back to thinking that you honored your team, back to thinking you honored the Indian. We are only costumes. Back to thinking that you only find us in Westerns and Disney films. Go back to thinking that we only exist in history books. Go back to thinking that all of this was just fun and games. Now shake my hand and ignore how your fingers lasso around my wrist, tying us to our ancestors. Yet we still survive. Now tell me how you loved you an Indian. And I want to say that the two teams who've changed their names are now the Washington Commanders and the Cleveland Guardians. Our work is to break the stereotypes and replace them with accurate representations of Native people today, and to continually educate ourselves so that we can move forward in this truth. And I'd like to leave you with this thought. For every 2 minutes that you spend learning about Indigenous struggle and strife that you hear so much about, spend 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes, learning about Indigenous brilliance. Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. As Kara so profoundly pointed out, we must awaken our minds and expand our imagination and awareness of the many ways we are in relationship, and sometimes need to improve how we're in relationship with Native Americans who exist all around us in this present moment. They are a people not frozen in myth or history, or in ideas from long ago that we might continue to hold in our imaginations. After the second service in the Commons Room, I invite you to say hello to your friends, grab a cup of coffee, and then come join Kara and I for a presentation. She will share more specifically about the Native people who live among us here in North Carolina, all around us, in most of the places that we ourselves live and work in. We hope that you'll join us. It is now time for the offering. It takes a lot to keep a large congregation running. Thank you for your ongoing support and generosity. This week's offering will go to the Pro-Choice North Carolina Foundation, the generosity recipient for this month. Please place your tangible gifts in the offering plate as it's passed around, or point your device at the large QR code on the screen, or simply go to the ERUUF website and click Give and go from there. Thank you.
My bells keen and bright, flashing like silver, follow the walker's flight. Dip, dip and swing, dip, dip and swing it back, flashing like silver, swift as the walker's flight. Dip, dip and swing.
We give thanks for all the many gifts that build and sustain our beloved community, including the gift of music. Jocelyn will now lead us in our closing hymn.
Please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing We Give Thanks, which is found on page 1010 in your teal hymnal.
Give thanks for this precious day, for all gathered here, and this far away, for this time we share, with love and care. Our closing words today come from Poet Laureate Joy Harjo from the poem Remember. Remember, you are all people, and all people are you. Remember, you are this universe, and this universe is you. Remember, all is in motion, is growing, is you. Remember, language comes from this. Remember, the dance language is, that life is. Remember. Go in peace, go in love. Blessed be.